It's August 5th. It's finally happened. The posters are gone. Over 200 were sold to a single person. It's Poster Show Part 3, the final chapter. Don't worry, there's more than just poster talk in this $100 challenge episode. Before we go into what happened to the posters, let's backtrack to July 24th. I got a game in the mail. Beavis and Butthead.
This is gonna be cool.
In Beavis and Butthead, the video game, you play either Beavis or Butthead and go on a 16-bit adventure. It happens to be a game I owned for the Genesis several years ago. I've also owned this on the Game Boy before. I might have owned it on the SNES at one time as well. I'm glad to own it again. Well, there's another Super Nintendo game I got. Super Castlevania 4 CIB. Now, I had the loose cart for a long time. It's actually a game I've always wanted to get complete in the box. Well, I finally did it. It's probably my favorite Castlevania game. I go Castlevania 4 Symphony of the Night. Castlevania 4 Symphony of the Night. It's always like around that. Super Castlevania 4 I got complete in the box. Something I've been wanting for a while. Finally got it. 2 days later. July 26th was a day full of garage sailing. Look at this Pac-Man arcade one-up for $50. It looked great, but I think it had issues. I don't think it worked. That day, I got another Super Nintendo game, The Incredible Crash Test Dummies. It's just boxed, but I got a decent deal. It happens to be a game I owned a few years ago. It's not that bad of a game. I think it's actually pretty fun. August 5th. We now bring you back to your regular scheduled program. It's hard to imagine just a few months ago, I bought a lot of posters for $100. There were a lot in the lot. Most were movie posters. A few, very few, were video game posters. In order to move the posters, I decided to go a different route. I could have done eBay for all of them, but I figured with all the eBay fees, I tried to do local first. I went on a couple local Facebook groups for movie poster fans. Took about 100 of my posters that I had pictures of, and my deal was like 1 for $14 or 3 for $30, like $10 each. I even offered a great deal for the remaining posters. I just wanted to get rid of them, get it out of my basement. It's like full circle. What the guy did to me, I was trying to do to someone else. Trying to move on to someone else who could appreciate them. So I offered a deal for the remaining 200 or so I had, 300 even. Well, a few individuals took my offer for 3 for $30. Someone else asked for Brain Scan and Serial Mom. Serial Mom happens to be the only picture taken of the second half of the lot. I didn't take any other pictures. I have a little bit of footage, but I didn't take individual pictures like I did for the other half. So I got an offer. I'll take them all. All the remaining ones that weren't sold. He lived in a town I used to live in, but it's an hour and a half away, or like an hour, 15 minutes away from me. So I load up my car real fast, head all the way to Gresham. Dropped him off, with the exception of a couple of posters that were spoken for. Besides Serial Mom, I didn't do a double check or triple check of those posters. Small, but possibility that there are video game posters still mixed in. I never found that Disney poster. I got my basement back and thus ended the poster show. It was a wild, strange ride. August 9th. I'm scrolling through the marketplace to see what's out there, and I come across some standees for Final Fantasy VII. One was original, and one was had like 4 PlayStation 1 games, Cloud in the middle of his Buster Sword and all that. Took some of my remaining $100 challenge money, went and got these standees. This one is the Final Fantasy VII. There's a variant one that says you get a pre-order bonus. This one just says the date that the game comes out. And this one has like 4 games by Square Enix with Cloud in the middle. I showed this on a Facebook group and I was offered $12.50 for both of them. I decided, nope, I'm not going to do that. So it wasn't until I came back from the trip. Pokemon Retro Gaming Expo 2024 was saying we're looking for auction submissions. And they usually sell really well, especially Final Fantasy VII is a popular game, especially with the remake just coming out, the second half of the remake. So I decided, hey, I could use that, get more games for this challenge. So I submitted both of them, and they were chosen. I wanted to keep the Final Fantasy VII one, I really do. And I might change my mind. Let's do one last date, August 21. The $100 challenge has been a wild journey. I built up the collection. Super Nintendo is what I've been really bulking up this summer. And here, I got a package, and there's more. Now I've gone some great Super Nintendo games already, like Soul Blazer. Zero, the Kazu Squirrel. This has been on my list since I talked about in episode 1. Got Yoshi's Island CIB. A great Super Nintendo game. I already had the cart and I already had the manual. So let's go ahead and go over what's in this box today. The Incredible Hulk. So you already got the Incredible Hulk earlier. So I have an extra copy. So this one's going to be sold. I'm keeping this one. So when I got a CIB, they're both X rentals. And the Incredible Hulk is not the best game. It's playable, not the best. Another repeat. Super Battle Tank. Again, just I think box and cart only. Now I'm going to compare it, which cart's better, and I'll keep which cart's better, which box is better. Super Star Wars. So it's not this one, which I got over the summer as well. But I'm going to keep this one. This is CIB, and this is also going to be sold. It's a Super Nintendo cleaning kit. Now I have one for the NES, have this one now as well. It's a cleaning kit for the Super Nintendo. WrestleMania, the arcade game. Now this is supposed to be CIB.
It's a total debacle. Boom shakalaka.
But hold on. Let's check that manual. So it's not CIB. Now I prefer this on the Sega Saturn. Super Nintendo's not bad.
Damn. What a ripoff.
Doomsday Warrior. Now this is a fighting game I had, just recently loose. And I have it complete. Is an X rental. World Heroes. Now this is a game I do not own. I've never owned it actually. So it's a first for me. SNK game. Sunsoft published it. It's just a fighting game. It's pretty fun. There's some box damage here. This is not the best looking box. It's probably one of the worst boxes in this lot. But I can always do a box upgrade and label upgrade later. But I have World Heroes now. Another game to add to the Super Nintendo collection. Whoa. Is it sealed? I think this is actually a reseal. It's not even completely sealed here. This is not sealed. Because here's a factory sealed game. This is Family Feud sealed. It's another game I already own. But this box actually looks better than this one, even if it's resealed. If it's sealed, it's new, and I'm not going to keep this sealed. Who murdered who? Wasn't it Miss Scarlet with the knife in the hall?
So this might have been factory sealed. Oh well.
Space Invaders CIB. Another cart I already own. So I could sell the cart, but now I have the game CIB. It's Space Invaders. And if you ever played the Game Boy version, it actually will be this version on the Super Game Boy. Donkey Kong Country 3 CIB. The third in the Donkey Kong series. Now I already have the cart, but I've been wanting to get Donkey Kong 1, 2, and 3 CIB. So now I'm one game down, and the box says Monkey Mayhem lives on. Probably the best looking box of the bunch. Battletoads and Battle Maniacs. Now it is just box and cart only, but I can always get the manual later. Does have a pesky sticker here. I don't think I'm going to remove it. I'll keep it. It was $16 in 1995, which is kind of cool. And the last. This is the one reason I got this box besides that Donkey Kong Country 3 and Battle Maniacs. Final Fight 2 CIB. Now the manual is rough. The box is not bad. I already own the cart, so I'll be able to sell this. It's the second of the Final Fight series on the Super Nintendo. This was not an original arcade game. This was released exclusively for the Super Nintendo. It's a fun game. I just gotta get part 3 CIB. I told you Final Fight, I was gonna get you. 12 Super Nintendo boxes. Really 11, not counting the cleaning kit. think it's good for the collection. What do you think? Think I overspent? What do you think of the haul? We are down to the final 3 episodes of the $100 challenge. Now, there might be a mid-episode between Rose City Con and Portland Retro Gaming Expo. The last episode will be like an overview, almost like a clip show, with new information, highlight the best and the weirdest things I got at garage sales. I'll do some talk about the cut episodes, there's a lot, and how I feel about the challenge, the pros and cons of doing a challenge like this. Did I learn anything? What jackpot did I get finally? Past the mini, of course. This episode will take place like a month, possibly 2 after the last episode of our challenge. The next episode is Rose City Con, and after that is the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Thank you guys for watching this series. We're winding down. Have fun, go game. See you on the next $100 challenge episode, Rose City Con.